They've done studies where they showed people were actually driving more safely when they were smoking pot. And now they're coming out and saying, oh, no, now it's going to be a DUI and all this. And then they're saying, oh, yeah, well, if you want to buy pot legally, then you can't own a firearm. I mean, what kind of deal is that? I mean, pot smoking firearm owner, the least likely violent criminal out there, probably. So like Alex Jones was pointing out that. And I would agree with that. Steve Bannon, I agree with Trump. Apparently he's gone off the deep end. I don't know what the hell's going on there, but he's turning out to be like a turncoat type of guy. But then again, I wouldn't be too hard and condemn him either. I mean, everybody's got their story to tell. And so I think that, it's worth listening to what he has to say. And I think that Alex Jones ought to listen to him. Steve Bannon wanted a personal meeting with Alex, but Alex wouldn't do it. And he was willing to talk to him on the phone to answer some questions that Alex had. And Steve Bannon never called him back. So Alex is kind of through. He's done. He's over it. He thinks he's just a Benedict Arnold. I don't know. Maybe he is. I just don't want to be too judgmental, too condemning to anybody. And, this infighting stuff, I think it's bad all around. I think we all need to get together. I don't care where you stand, liberal, conservative, somewhere in between. We've all got to get together and understand the fundamental issues that are going to extricate America and therefore the rest of the world out of the muck and mire of economic regression and subjection and oppression and repression and misery. Okay, that's been inflicted on us. This wealth imbalance ever growing. It's a pyramid scheme. How long can that go on? It can't go on forever. People are going to get smart. They're going to say, stop making me poor, damn it. Stop telling me I got to follow all your laws when you don't do crap. You allow this illegality. My only answer, I'm going to take away welfare. That's the answer. When they created the need for the welfare by creating the poverty and the poor people that need the welfare. And we know it's by deliberation. It's not incompetence. They're doing it on purpose. They're doing it intentionally. And if we tolerate this, then we deserve what we got coming. Who was it? Thomas Jefferson, the amount of tyranny you agree to live under, that you accept, that's the amount you're going to get. You're going to get more, too. They're just going to keep heaping it on until you bust. That's it. I'm done. Broke. I say, Uncle, I'm out. No more from me. And you wonder why so many people want to drop out and go on welfare. I mean, come on. Don't play stupid. Anybody out there I'm talking to, don't play stupid. Got a willing workforce. You can't prove to me we don't, okay? And if people don't want to do a particular job, I guess you better just raise the pay. I don't care if it's unskilled or not. Any job, okay, worth doing is valuable to society. It's an important job, okay? So that's it. Let's not play stupid. Let's not be dishonest. Let's not rationalize and become little hypocrites. Mini elitists, like I call them. Make sure you're on the right side of this thing. Like I said, if I thought for a moment that God was in any way elitist, even an iota, modicum of elitist that God smacked of, I'd become an atheist tomorrow. That's it. I'd be done. That's it. But I know that God's a good egalitarian. God would be a good American. The American spirit encompasses that, embodies that, encapsulates that whole idea of freedom, the Constitution, God-given rights and entitlements. Okay, and equality, all these beautiful God-given values that we behold in America. So some of the stuff I've made notes on, if I've already talked about, I won't, like McBreen and Bound and their spiel about getting people off food stamps, but not touching on Cloward and Piven or the Section 8 housing and yanking that. That's what needs to be yanked. Yeah, I know that I'm hard on people that I believe I'm certain are wrong sometimes, and I can get very arrogant, and I could be an a-hole, and I don't like it, and I ask forgiveness. But remember this: when you see a guy like me that's hard on other people, just like anybody that's hard on other people, remember this, everybody, all of us, that we're always hardest on ourselves. And so I know that since I'm in light of the fact that I'm willing to forgive everybody, I've got to let stuff go. Constantly. This is why I do these videos. Part of it is just it's purging to me. It's what's the term? It's I like to get stuff off my chest. Let's put it that way. And part of it is understanding that I'm willing to forgive people. And in light of the fact that I'm willing to forgive others, then I need to internalize that and forgive myself too. Because I say stupid things. And I'm sorry to anybody who I've said a stupid thing to. Anybody that I have offended. I don't mean to. I don't mean to insult anybody. But yes, sometimes you need to correct people. But it should be done in a tactful, godly manner. Because after all, aren't we trying to be effective and really trying to fix things if you're sincere and genuine and real? So you're trying to be, at the end of the day, when you correct people, the object is to be effective as you possibly can. And if by being some wise guy, arrogant, a-hole, piece of crap, okay, you know that you're not being effective. That's not palatable to those that are in living in error in their belief systems. Then don't do it, or just work and correct yourself, catch yourself sooner and turn the other way. So, but we're always hardest on ourselves. And when we're willing to forgive other people, at least we can feel worthy to be forgiven ourselves and forgive ourselves and carry on. So yes, I said something very stupid. I'm sorry I said that stupid thing. I'm sorry I hurt their feelings. I didn't mean to. It wasn't my object to insult or to offend anybody. And we get over it, so forgiveness is very important, to embrace that, to forgive others so that we can forgive ourselves too, and accept all that, and then accept the forgiveness that God gives us. Just about anybody that's watched any of my videos can pretty much know who I am and what I'm all about, and it's not hidden. But I'm just a regular guy that just wants the freedom for everybody, that understands that my freedom, my welfare is entangled in yours and his and hers and all of us. That this is not the kind of thing you go alone. Like I pointed out about thinking I'm a spoiled brat. Yes, relative. I'm ashamed before God. I'm ashamed of what I already possess, that I'm not more generous and giving. I'm ashamed. And I want to be. And it eats me up. It does. It's like, it really does. It bothers me. Really, I mean that with every fiber of my being. And I so want the wound on the collective body of humanity to be bound up where it's hemorrhaging. Better men than me are going to die out on the streets tonight. I want that to stop immediately, yesterday. And I want them to be as spoiled as I am. Preferably more so. That way I could enjoy being more spoiled. But God is watching. And none of us can hide from the probing eyes of God into our souls and our hearts and our minds, man. We call ourselves Christians, for crying out loud. Let's believe accordingly with our hearts and our minds. And let the words that come out of our mouths and our deeds reflect that. Let's get it. Let's take it to heart, what Jesus taught. Whatsoever we do or fail to do for the least of these, you do or you fail to do for me. What is difficult to understand about that statement? Nothing. So it's about honesty. This planet belongs to all of us. It's not God that's charging you a cost of living. He's got God extracting taxes from you, exacting taxes from us. It's not God that invented money. None of it's his fault. He's saying, don't love money. Go the opposite. Hate money. Love me. But I understand that you need money. This is how you pay your bills. So he works with us. So he understands that we love money enough to exist, to survive. We capitulate. But it doesn't stop us from also hating it too and realizing it's a big fat paradox. And someday it's going to come to an end. And money's not going to exist on earth. And that's going to be a beautiful day. And we're going to get along and play like children of God that we are, in safety and security and prosperity and contentment and all good things. All the good things of freedom, absolute freedom for everybody. Okay, so let's work that way, folks. And it is your planet. It's my planet, it's his planet, her planet, all of our planets. But that's who I am, folks. I want to be joyful and free, and in order to get that, I need you to be joyful and free. You know, I like this the press spokeswoman, this Sarah Huckabee Sanders woman. I like her a lot. This woman is all right. She's smart, she's witty, she's on the ball, man, and I like her. I think she's the real deal. She's a righteous woman. King Solomon was wrong when he said, out of 1,000 women, there's not one righteous woman. Well, in this case, she breaks the mold. I like Sarah Huckabee Sanders a lot, and I hope Trump appreciates this woman too. She's all right, you know. She's all right. Any dad would be proud to have her as a daughter. That's for damn sure. Good woman. At least that's my opinion. You know, I'm seeing conflicting statistics come on TV. They're saying, all these cancers are down and all this, you know, but they're not talking about diabetes just going through the roof. They don't mention that. They don't mention declining lifespans, longevity going down. This is how the mainstream media operates. One day they'll be telling you this, the next day that. And it's like, wait a minute, these are the experts, these are the authorities telling us the mainstream media is coming from them. It can't be wrong. And yet it's utterly conflicting statements they're making. So what are we, is it any wonder we're all stuck in the muddied, bloodied pool of water that's been, you know, we've been forced to swim in? So either you're going to be a Luciferian and swim over here and see, yes, it's all a scam. We muddy and bloody the water. It's easy. You keep people confused. It's easy just throwing mud in there. Confusion, ignorance, disempowerment. You understand how that's how they keep us in the muddied, bloodied waters of enslavement under their system and keep the status quo establishment trajectory of death and destruction going. We know how they do it. That's how they do it. That's it, man. It's so easy. So easy. Just think about it. You take a pool of clean water and you take a big glob of mud and you throw it in there, and it's going to dissipate throughout the whole pond. It's going to make the whole clear pond, it's going to turn it muddy just from that one glob of mud, because as it fans out. So it's at least murky. It may not be completely opaque where the center of the mud was thrown, but it's still not as clear as it could be. It's still undesirable compared to the nice, clear, clean water that God says, no, come on over here. Get this thing. I want you to get it, man. Get it. Understand. Have understanding. Be empowered thereof. Come out of confusion. Come out of ignorance. Come out of Babylon, my people. So when you hear his voice calling in the wilderness, hearken, hear his voice, and capitulate to him, to the clean, clear waters of logic and reason. What makes sense? That's a passage from Scripture. I didn't pull that out. If you hear his voice calling in the wilderness, because that's it. We're like in the wilderness, this muddied and bloodied water by the New World Order cabal, these globalist types, the money lovers, top money lovers, the grand puppeteers. And this is who they are, the hypocrites, these elitists, these enemies of humanity, enemies of God. I mean, that's who they are. That's who's doing this to us. These Satanists, these Luciferians, a lot of them very open about it. Locally here, we had a horrific head-on wreck on this Highway 99. Again, dividers on every inch of highway in this country. Every inch. Don't listen to anybody that tells you, oh, it's going to cost these millions. Screw them. Screw you. Screw you. Cement's cheap. We got a willing workforce. Screw you. Telling me how much it's going to cost. Bull. Let's get the infrastructure done. Let's make the highway safer. Every inch of highway. No more head-on wrecks. Damn it. That's what it's going to take for we the people to put our feet down and say, no, 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 we're going to invest. And the greatest asset we have in America is a willing workforce. Prove to me we don't have a willing workforce. You can't. So shut your beak. Shut your pie hole. Let's fix it, damn it. But this could have been, this was a woman and her fiance. It's an older woman, younger man, I guess. I don't know. She probably had 10 or 15 years, I think. Well, I could be wrong about that, but that's what I recall. But what happened was the woman was driving, and she got in this wreck, and I think she's already been released from the hospital, but it killed the passenger, her fiance. And This is peculiar. I wonder if there's any insurance money going to be involved, or she thinks there could be somehow. Because if she knows anything about physics, then she knows, well, this could be a perfect case of a perfect murder. You deliberately drive into head-on traffic, and you plan it to where there's not going to be any impact on the driver's side. You know you got an airbag, and so you make sure it's a passenger. I'm just throwing that out there. I'm not saying that's what happened here, but it could be a case of a perfect murder that's never going to get found out, right? Just a possibility, throwing it out there. Oh, Trump pushing to investigate voter fraud? Great. Let's have transparency. No, they want to stay in the opaque, muddied, bloodied waters, right? Oh, no, states are saying, no, you're not going to look at our records. Oh, no, they just say, oh, no, it's been found that voter fraud is very rare.